Okay, so we've talked about what self-esteem is. We talked about what makes it up. Now we're going to talk about how did your self-esteem develop? And this is a process that takes place for all of us. So your self-esteem, research says, it begins around the age of 4, that you start to have an awareness that you are a separate person. You have a separate identity from those around you. And so this begins around the age of 4. So our self-esteem develops through experiences we have in our family relationships, in our friendships, experiences that we have at school, how successful, how well we do at school, or if we're struggling. It has to do with what losses and or trauma did you experience growing up? Religion plays a significant part of our self-esteem. So what we're taught about who we are, what we're taught about what makes a good person. So religion has a big impact on how you view yourself. The encouragement or the support that we got or didn't get around developing our interests, our talents, and our abilities. That had all kinds of messages about our self-esteem and what value we had. And so many messages from society. We get a lot of messages about who we're supposed to be, just what makes a good human, but specifically as a woman, what makes a good woman. So we hear a lot in society, in advertising, in messaging, that a major part of a woman's value is her physical appearance. And we start taking that on at a very early age. So that's just one example. But those messages that we get from our culture, from our society, also play a huge role in how our self-esteem develops. All right. So you have experiences from all of those different areas we just talked about. And from those experiences, you create meaning. You attach meaning to those experiences. So certain experiences reinforce, this is what it means to be a good person. I feel good when this happens. And certain experiences will say, that didn't feel good. I don't want to keep repeating that. So you have these experiences, you attach meaning to the experiences. And this meaning becomes beliefs. So experiences, meaning, and beliefs. And then the beliefs that you're creating about yourself will influence the choices you make. So for instance, if I experience a significant amount of difficulty at school, I'm really struggling to learn. And it could be for many different reasons. Maybe I have ADHD. Maybe I have dyslexia. Maybe again, a lot of different reasons. But the fact is, I'm struggling at school. And so I'm having these experiences of frustration. Maybe I have a teacher who is critical of me, who says I'm just lazy and need to try harder. Maybe I have parents who are upset with me because they've been called in and have to talk with the teacher. So I have all of these experiences happening around school and my inability to be successful at school. So meaning that I'm attaching is school is hard, school is frustrating, school is negative. Beliefs I might develop are I'm stupid, I'm not intelligent, I'm not smart, I can't figure things out. So if this is how I'm perceiving myself and seeing myself, it now influences the choices that I'm making. How excited am I going to be to want to try and learn new things? How confident am I going to be in my ability to understand new concepts? So because of this cycle that you can see, it influences my choices because I'm going to be less likely to try something new. And that then reinforces the experiences that I have. Or if I do try something new, maybe I've already determined I'm going to fail. I'm not going to allow myself to be successful. And so you can see that this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It gets reinforced as we move through our life. So it becomes really important to start breaking this down and understanding, what beliefs have I created or have been through my experiences developed. And becoming aware of this then allows you to start creating different experiences. So this is how self-esteem is developed. Starts around the age of 4. It begins through our experiences with those around us, our world around us. And then we start attaching meaning, creating beliefs, which influence choices. And that cycle just perpetuates again and again and again. Okay, so that's the general idea of how self-esteem is developed. Now becomes the important piece of looking at how has your self-esteem been developed? And I call this your story. So I was playing with wording and I was talking about, well, this is, you're going to explore your history. And I looked at the word history. It's like his story. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. So this is your story. So consider what you experienced growing up. Here's the digging in. I want you to go back. This exercise is not about finding someone to blame. Please hear me when I say that. This exercise is not about finding someone to blame. It is about increasing your awareness about where your self-esteem is now, creating understanding. Oh, it makes sense. This is how I perceive myself based on what I experienced, based on the meaning and beliefs I created. So please view this exercise, be curious in this exercise. It is not about finding someone or something to blame. So again, download the worksheet that I have attached, and you'll have places to answer questions and do journaling. So think about specifically the ages between 4 and 12. So what were the things that were happening in your life? Pull up pictures to help yourself remember, or talk to siblings or parents if you choose to. But what were the things that were happening in your life between the ages of 4 and 12? And then consider between the ages of 13 and 18. What were the major events? What were the things that you were experiencing in your family relationships, your friendships, at school, if you started to work? So just remember, what did you experience? What were you experiencing at church? And then the last piece is considering in adulthood, once you turned 19 into where you are now, what were the significant and major pieces that have had an impact on your self-esteem, on how you see yourself, how well you value and respect yourself. So use the worksheets, pay attention to what's coming up for you as you step into this process. Write down the questions that you have and bring those to the coaching call this week. I am so excited you're here, so excited you are choosing to step into this process. It's going to make a difference.